Sean Diddy Combs found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, but convicted of lesser charges. I'm sure y'all have seen everybody talk about this. This is the end to this storyline now, at least. We have now the sentencing to come along, and just like before all this, he tried to get bail. They denied him, and now he's trying to get out. He's still trying to get out, and they're still not letting him out. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. But I'm not surprised by this, as I know a lot of people aren't. During this whole trial, I kept saying I just didn't see the trafficking, the sex trafficking. I didn't see the RICO, the racketeering. I just didn't see this situation. Obviously, the prostitution charges he was found guilty of. In particular, you have the racketeering conspiracy, which had a max sentence of life in prison. He found not guilty. The sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion was another max sentence is life in prison, not guilty. The transportation for purposes of prostitution, max sentence is 10 years. He was found guilty of that. The sex trafficking by force, that's a second sex trafficking charge. He's found not guilty of that as well. And the transportation for purpose of prostitution, the second case for that, he was found guilty. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the main reason why the jury found him not guilty of the charges, outside of whether you believe the evidence showed that or not, it's because of the fact that it carried a possible life sentence. And it's like, well, in this case here, can we prove without a doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt, that this is what it was, that he was trafficking these people, even though I feel like the prosecution muddied the waters themselves without the defense, with the people they brought up to be witnesses. The fact that they kept focusing on his sexual depravity and just kept focusing on that stuff kind of made it seem like they wasn't taking this case too seriously. Obviously, they was able to prove a certain level of violence that he carried and the threats and the alleged violence that he had towards other people outside of Cassie. But I feel like they focused so much on the sexual stuff that it kind of weakened the point about it being trafficking, because they brought people in who admitted that they willingly did it. Now, the coercion part and the force, trying to say that he used the money and access to a certain lifestyle or whatever in order to force them to do certain things, I just didn't think that landed with most people. And the second I heard second it became public that they found him not guilty of these charges, the racketeering and the sex trafficking, I immediately thought to myself, I think he's probably going to be, as far as Diddy's public image has always not been that good. Like I said, that I see a lot of people saying that this entire case was used to simply run Diddy's image down to the ground more because of the whole, the liquor company. But I think Diddy's image was never good. I believe that the theory that a lot of people are bringing forward, which is they believe that he did have some tapes with some names, with some big names in them, and they simply wanted to confiscate the evidence and do this this pony show here to the public to make it seem like they were actually going to pin him some real stuff on him. Because remember, when this case was first introduced to the public, we thought we was going to get fireworks. We thought we was going to get all type of names, Will Smith, Jay-Z, Suge Knight was going to be involved, the death of Tupac and Biggie. We thought it was going to be the biggest case in hip-hop history. We thought everything we ever thought about Diddy was going to be proven correct. We thought all the dangerous stuff that we heard behind the scenes, holding people upside down. Cuddy said his car was blown up, even though now they're saying it was a Molotov. It's still, I get it, it's still somewhat of an explosive situation, but we thought it was going to be way more to this case, and all they kept focusing on was he's a freaky dude. Like, that's kind of was the center of the case for them. And I just thought this was just to get the evidence that they really wanted, which is the tapes that did have those people on. And maybe they didn't really go after Diddy and put the stuff they could have put on him because he didn't snitch. He didn't bring nobody's name up. His lawyers didn't bring no one else up in this entire case. They didn't bring nobody. So maybe that's why they allowed him to just kind of get this little, I'm not going to say slap on the wrist, but the fact that he was facing life, I think even the max sentence of 10 years each, which would be 20 years, I don't know if they would do that concurrently or whatever, but even a max sentence of 10 years is a slap on the wrist for what he could have gotten. Like, I don't think he was very happy. They say he got on the floor, he got on his knees and prayed before and after the verdict. So he's clearly very happy with what happened. I would too, because they could have sent him up the creek. Oh, what up, Regina? What up? She said, I wonder what was this distraction really about, since it's basically a black version of Epstein. All evidence was removed during the raid, and the rest was, that's all, folks, history. Exactly. I think the same thing with Epstein. The whole purpose of that was to get the evidence that he had on these other people that he probably was doing a honeypot. Get the evidence so that we can give it back to let's be honest. The evidence they confiscated from Epstein, the black book and all that stuff, it didn't go back to the people. They didn't destroy it. They didn't destroy it. Someone somewhere or some alphabet agency has access to this information, and now they're using it to get what they want. It's not the situation where, you know, one of these celebrities or politicians or international people is on film doing something, and when the raid happened, they got this evidence and they returned it back to all the people, or they destroyed it and alerted them that they were on tape. No, they kept it. Somebody else got that power now that they think Diddy had. She also said, this is some interesting world trickery spells. How does transportation of prostitution not fall under sex trafficking? Reminds me of Bill Clinton. Great point. But I guess you could say the difference is sex trafficking is, as you said, right, as it says right here, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion versus transportation of purpose of prostitution. The transportation of purpose of prostitution is just, I simply hired someone with the intent to have sex for money. Sex trafficking is, I forced them, I coerced them, or I frauded them. As they were trying to pin that on him because they were saying that he would invite these prostitutes, most of them male, but these prostitutes to these sex parties, these freak-offs, as he called them, these king, what do you call, night king night, whatever it's called. And he would tell them one thing, but they would show up and it would be this group of people, and he frauded them by telling them it was going to be him and maybe his girl, and it turned into this orgy type thing. So they were trying to say that was fraud. That was somewhat of tricking people into getting into this. Craig said, the welcome home freak off about to go crazy. Hey, it's going to be the most secret, huge party you ever heard in your life. They definitely not going to do it in America either. He's going to be on some island with a couple hundred Negroes, all the Negroes who didn't come out public, not just Negroes, all the people, celebrities, athletes, entertainers that didn't say anything publicly negative about him will be at those parties. They'll be rubbing shoulders with him within 2 years. But even if he's in prison, you're going to start seeing them say positive things about him in the press, how he's doing the work to change himself. He was already doing the work before this case came down, and now this has made him really commit to changing his life and being a better person for the people. And we know that'll be some BS, but that's what they're about to push now. Yeah, but judge denied bail for Bad Boy Record founder, saying it will be impossible for Combs to prove he does not pose a danger. Sentencing is scheduled for October 3rd. And I saw also that Cassie sent a letter to the court basically saying don't give him bail. Because she thought she would be in danger if he's released. Even though, like, if he get released in 3 years, wouldn't it be the same level of danger? I don't understand. What's the difference? Sean Diddy Combs, the one-time global hip-hop titan, whose federal trial unveiled whoring testimony accusing him of sexual abuse against women and forced drug-dazed freak-offs, was acquitted Wednesday of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, but found guilty of lesser charges. The jury verdict, delivered the third day of deliberation, declared Combs, 55, not guilty of 1 count of racketeering, conspiracy, and 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, but guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Then it says, I watched a podcast called Hearing Crystal Clear, and he called an alleged copy, and she had an alleged copy of the Epstein list, for which our current prayers was listed with some damning details if true. Well, remember Elon Musk, when he had his fallout with Trump, the biggest thing he said in his Twitter rant was that Trump ain't released the files of Epstein because he's in there. So then he came back and kind of said he said some things he regret and stuff, but Trump's still standing on 10 on him. Trump still ain't fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? He could take his ass back to South Africa. But yeah, I just think this is the same thing with Epstein. And it's unfortunate because in America, we're so used to sensationalizing everything, even in our movies, entertainment. So it leaks into our news. So with the Epstein thing, it was the biggest conspiracy ever. He has tapes of presidents and world leaders around the world doing stuff with children, and there's proof in these tapes. He has thousands of tapes. Oh man, it's gonna come out soon. Just wait, it's gonna come, and we never get it. And it just go quiet. And you have a few people in media, what they call legacy or mainstream media, that'll still bring it up every now and again as a talking point against certain politicians, but they never really stand strong on it. Like we still ain't got the John F. Kennedy files, all of them, not the ones the stuff we already knew. And I think at some point they were supposed to release the MLK files, and we haven't got that either. Virginia says Trump said, "Watch it, sucker, before I deport your ass back to South." Hey, Trump ain't playing with him. And then you see Elon Musk. He's starting his own party, America Party. Keep in mind, a South African and an Indian are starting an independent party for the American Party in America when they're both immigrants. It just don't make sense. This whole world is upside down at this point. And I said this a few years ago. It seemed like every demographic in the world, every culture, ethnicity that's in America, all the different ones are fighting for a piece of the American pie, to own something. You got Asians saying that they've been here for hundreds of years and they have blood on this soil and stuff. Everybody's trying to stick a claim to America, and it's like it's a dying empire. Why would you want a piece of it? It's one thing to say you're owed something versus trying to claim something now. It's like, look, it's already over at this point. We're just watching the decay at this point. Obviously, I already said that Diddy, he will remain in custody while he waits for sentencing. After being denied bond. I did see Judge Mathis, before the verdict came down, he even said that he think he'll be found not guilty. Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown as well, but Judge Mathis said, I was kind of surprised Judge Mathis shared that opinion. And then he said that it is unfair for the judge to not take $1 million for bond for Diddy. That is unfair, that he's been proven to not be a trafficker or the RICO, so you should let him out. But we'll see what the judge does. Let me show this though. This was funny. Outside of the court, when the verdict was read, the Diddy supporters decided to do a baby oil contest. So they're outside the court pouring baby oil on each other. And this kind of just shows the state we're in the world today, where nothing is really taken serious. And also, if I really want to go real deep on it, this kind of shows the depravity that we're in America, where a man can be accused of sexual assault, all you can think of, sexual depravity in the bedroom, and the public just kind of do the shoulder shrug, like, okay, who cares what he's into? Accused of wanting other men's semen on his nipples. I'm sorry, I just got to point that out. The courtroom, you have people that's just like shoulder cares. That's how far it is in America. This is why the East, particularly rough America, so wicked. It's crazy. It's just such thing as morality. It's all gone. Everybody got it's scorched. Everybody just do this. And say it is upside down, inverted, backwards, opposite of what we assume. What up, William? He said Judge Mathis is probably on some of them. A couple of years ago, I was watching somebody show, said some things in some of those episodes where somebody was like, Judge Mathis is a freak. That allegedly around Detroit area, he's known for being a little, he's known for getting down certain ways. That's why when the news came out that him and his wife had filed for divorce or something like that, I was like, trouble, because they into some things. So he had to get her back. You can't let those type of secrets go out into the world because books get written. And we can't have a Diddy situation with me. So judge said I had to get her back. I give you everything you want. You say even that, what the hell, crazy. What, Craig? But yeah, let me just play a little more of this. Yeah, this is how far it went. So these are all the freaky people defending the freak offs. This depraved people, man. It is what it is. Let's see what else we got. Oh, there's another angle. Let me show this one too. Might as well. Look at this. Oh Lord. And I saw Negroes getting online say, we know there ain't no black Americans. It's like, all right. Ain't no black Americans out there. Oh, we pray. But even a more update to that story outside of Diddy's what he was and wasn't found. Immediately came out of that. It's not all over, obviously, because people still trying to get their money. Diddy got a couple dozen lawsuits still against him from former employees and such, you know, suing him civilly for money. And there's another one that just popped up. Virginia said these folks have to be paid because ain't no way. Unbelievable. Yeah, I remember when, what was it? 50 Cent said that people were being paid money to stand outside and hold the free Diddy signs. I think he just started that rumor. I don't know how many people was actually getting paid, but maybe it was. But is it really worth it? A couple $100? Like, I don't know. I want to show this. So now we can get to the real stuff. Diddy and Cassie sued by male escort who claims he contracted STD after having sex with singer. Clayton Howard's lawsuit also claimed he impregnated Cassie, but she had an abortion without his knowledge. So that's supposed to be the emotional distress. Is that what they're supposed to he's suing for with that? Diddy's legal issues seem to be far from over, with a new lawsuit being filed against the disgraced mogul and his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. After the Bad Boy founder was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering, it was confirmed he was being sued by a male escort he allegedly hired in 2009. The plaintiff, Clayton Howard, filed a lawsuit against Diddy and Cassie, claiming that the couple drugged, manipulated, and traumatized him when he began participating in Diddy's so-called freak-offs. Howard has claimed Diddy enlisted him for the alleged drug-fueled sex parties, which Cassie previously described as disgusting and humiliating. According to TMZ, Howard claimed he contracted an STD after reluctantly having unprotected sex with Cassie on multiple occasions. He also claims he impregnated the singer, but she had an abortion without his knowledge. Now, how the hell are you forced to have unprotected sex with someone when you are considered a male escort? You can say no. I don't understand. Howard made similar claims in a recent interview with Radar Online, saying he thought it was strange that Cassie wanted to have unprotected sex even after the alleged pregnancy. She told me that she had been pregnant and that it was my child, he alleged. She started to cry and said she was sorry. She claimed that she hadn't wanted to do it. I had no choice but to forgive her. She still had unprotected sex with me, and that was the strange part for me. I didn't want to have unprotected sex with her. I wanted to put a condom on, but she insisted on it. She told me she was on birth control now, and we didn't have to worry about. Howard went by Dave when he was hired for Diddy's alleged sex parties. He said he worked for Diddy for about 5 years, being trafficked for commercial sex and satisfying a couple sexual fetishes and personal ambitions. Yada yada yada. He says Cassie forced him to take ecstasy and participate in hour-long masturbation sessions that would leave his penis scabbed and peeled. Oh man, that's nothing that came from this. They were saying how they had these freak-offs that lasted 2 days, and Cassie on the third day said she still was ready to go. It was like, God damn. But yeah, there's still more lawsuits coming. Still people trying to get a bag out of the situation. I do think because of these results, a lot of those cases will be. Someone will be settled, obviously. Someone will be paid off, and someone will be thrown out, more than likely. Because now it's all out in the street. I'm not just gonna just pay y'all off now because all my dirty laundry in the street now. So now y'all gonna have to stay in court and fight it. If you want this 5 million, 2 million, 500,000, you got to fight for it now. I'm not just giving it off. Crazy. Oh my.